Welcome to the tutorial for the Jacob's Ladder Ripple Afghan. There's a link in the notes or the description of the video that will tell you where you can find the full pattern for this Afghan. And I'm going to make a very small version of it just for demonstration purposes. I'm starting with a chain of 49, so I can just make a couple of repeats and show you the basics of how this blanket works. So there's a foundation row of double crochets that kind of make the blanket finished, so that I know in the original Jacob's Ladder that's not a ripple, there's a version of it that's just a flat blanket. You add a foundation after completing all the loops, and what I did in creating this pattern was decided to make the foundation rows inclusive in the directions so you don't have to go back and add them later. So you actually start with a foundation row that does not have a gap. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to make 2 double crochets in the 4th chain. So there's my 4th chain from the hook. I'm going to make 2 double crochets there. Then I'm going to double crochet in each of the next 6 chains. Now what I'm going to do is a decrease 3, and that is double crochet 3 together is what it is. It is a decrease stitch, but what you're going to do is double crochet 3 stitches together, so it's going to take up 3 chains, but you're going to only have 1 stitch basically at the top of this, so it's reducing 3 stitches to 1. We do this by go like you're going to do a double crochet into the next chain. You do your yarn over and pull through, so you've got 3 loops on your hook. Go ahead and yarn over and go through 2, and normally to do a double crochet you'd go ahead and pull through these last 2 loops, but don't. Yarn over again like you're going to make another double crochet and go into the next chain. Yarn over and pull through. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So you basically have the bottom of 2 double crochets so far. Yarn over again, go through the next chain and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2. Now you have basically the bottom of 1, 2, 3 double crochets plus your beginning stitch. So you have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 4. So you've used 3 chains and you've ended up with 1 stitch at the top, decreased from 3 to 1. Now do double crochets in the next 2 chains. And now we're going to do another one of these double crochet 3 together. So yarn over, go through the chain, pull through, and then do 2. Yarn over, go through the chain, yarn over and pull through, go through 2, yarn over, go through the chain, pull through, go through 2. So I now have the 4 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through. Alright. Now I'm going to double crochet in the next 6 chains. So what we did there is that was the valley of our ripple, the dip down. So on every row you'll have these 3 double crochet 3 togethers on either side of the valley. And then what we're coming up to, so now I've got 6 double crochets. In this next chain, I'm going to start on the peak of my ripple, and I'm going to do that by making 3 double crochet in that stitch, that same chain. And so again, on every row you will have this configuration where you will be doing 2 sets of these 3 double crochet in a stitch to create the peak of the ripple. I'm going to double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Then I'm going to do the other side of my peak by doing 3, 1, 2, 3 double crochets in that chain. Now I'm going to do 6 double crochets going along these next 6 chains. And now I'm going to do my decrease stitches again. So I'm going to double crochet 3 together. And then do double crochets in the next 2 chains. Then 3 together again. And then double crochet in the next 6 chains. And then in my last chain, I'm going to do 2 double crochets. Whoops, lost it. 2 double crochets. And then a triple. That's just to kind of make the sides of the entire blanket a little stretchier, give it a little give rather than just doing doubles there. I'm going to turn and do chain 3. So in that first stitch, the edge of this blanket is kind of 1/2 of a peak. So it's always going to have an increase of 3 at the beginning of each and the end of each row. So in that same first stitch, I'm going to do 2 more double crochets. Then I'm going to double crochet in each of the next 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I have 1, 2 double crochets, and then this is the top of that decrease or double crochet 3 together from the prior row. So that will be the last of, I'm going to do a double crochet 3 together on these 3 stitches, so that the last stitch that I'm picking up of the 3 is the double crochet from the last row. That way, and I'm pointing that out so that you can make sure that you're lining up, and you should always line up that way where on each valley, remember you've got 2, 3 of these double crochet 3 together. And so on the first one, it'll always be with a double crochet, and the double crochet 3 together from the prior row. So I'm going to go ahead and make that. Then I'm going to do a chain 10. And it looks really crazy when you're working on the blanket because you'll have all these big loops of chain 10s. But then you'll make, at the very end of the blanket, you'll loop all those chains together to make a nice big chain that goes up the blanket and gives it lots of neat texture and a interesting look, especially if you're using different colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And for this first row, I'm going to skip these 2 double crochet. And then again, on every valley, on the second half of the valley, here is my decrease from the, or my, I keep saying decrease, but it's the 3 crochet 3 together stitch from the prior row, and then 2 double crochet from the prior row that I'm going to do 1, 2, and then here's that decrease. Here's one part of my 3 crochet 3 together. So I've got the bottom half of 3 double crochets on my hook. It's 4 stitches or 4 loops, and I'm going to pull through all 4 loops to make that decrease 3 or 3 double crochet 3 together is what it's called. Then I'm going to do 6 double crochets. There's 3, 4, 5, 6. So then we're back to the peak again, and the last 2 double crochets that I just made were in 2 of where I had done 3 double crochets and 1 chain from the prior row. So then in the last double crochet of that 3 double crochet cluster, I'm going to do 3 again. So 1, 2, 3. And that's how that will always line up in every peak. The peak, doing 3 double crochets in 1 stitch will always be in the last double crochet of the 3 from the prior row on this side of it. Now I'm going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then on the other side, there's my 3 double crochets that were all in 1 chain. On that side, the 3 double crochets are going to go in the first of those stitches. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to double crochet in the next 6 stitches. So 2 of those stitches were from the 3 double crochet from the prior row's increase. But all you need to know is that you're going to be working 6 double crochets. Then we're going to work a valley again. So I'm going to do a 3 double crochet 3 together. So the last of those is going into the double crochet 3 together of the prior row. Complete it. Chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'm going to do 3 together again. I'm going to skip 2. 1, 2, 3. So remember, the first one was in the double crochet 3 together from the prior row, and then 2 double crochets from the prior row. Now I'm going to do 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm back to my turning chain from the prior row, and in the turning chain I'm going to work 2 double crochets. It's always fun finding that top turning chain, and then 1 triple. Alright, so then the next row is the same type of thing, but it turns out a little bit different, just because instead of skipping double crochets, you're going to be skipping these chains. So I do want to at least get started on the next row to show you what it'll look like when you've got chains instead. So I'm going to do 2 double crochets after my chain 3 and turn in the same first stitch. And that's an increase because that's basically half of a peak at the edge of the blanket. Then I'm going to do 6 double crochets. It's important that kind of as you go along with the blanket, verify that you always have just 6 and at least 6 of these double crochets in the runs between the increase clusters that are happening and the decreases. And as long as you keep just 6 double crochets in between, that will keep these panels between the peaks and the valleys even, so that you don't have them growing or decreasing. You want them to stay even. So that's a quick verification. If you end up with more or less, then you can make an adjustment so that you get back to having 6 every time between the increases and the decreases. So now I'm going to do a decrease, and again it's going to line up with the last 2 double crochets from the prior row and then the decrease from the prior row, the double crochet 3 together, which is a decrease stitch. So 1, 2, 3. There's that decrease stitch. This time I'm going to be skipping these 10 chains, making 10 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Skip all those chains from the prior row, and I've come back to my 3 double crochet 3 together, which is going to be the first stitch of the next 3 stitches that I'm going to make 3 double crochet together. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to continue this pattern where I'm going to make, again, 6 double crochets, then I'm going to increase by doing 3 in this last stitch. Then I'm going to chain 10, again increase, doing 3 in this stitch. Then I'm going to do 6 double crochet, then I'm going to do 3 double crochets together to decrease here, and then skip my chain and make 3 decreases, decrease these 3 with the double crochet 3 together, do 6 double crochets, and then do an increase at the end. But the end one always has 2 double crochets and a triple to give you a little room on the ends. And I will work on this a little bit, and I will make another video to show you the end of this blanket, because it is a little bit different. The last few rows are a little bit different, and show you how you loop up the loops.